It's a good day to play the Talos Principle 2. Welcome to episode 4 of this playthrough. Last episode, we completed all of the main 8 puzzles of this first area in the east. So today I think we can look at all the different question marks that we have on the compass that we have on top of the screen. So let's explore these 3 to the left. Let's see what they are supposed to represent. Looks like one is quite close by and looks like it's a terminal. So we'll have something to read again. That is the third in this world, or in this area. Let's see if there are 3 in each. But yeah, last time we activated the laser on the on top of this monument. It looks like there will be 12 monuments that we need to activate in order to get inside the mega structure in the middle of this island, of this archipelago. So we'll see. So what do we have here? L1C Lifthrasier from Error. From Lives of the First Companions by Randolph 777. Okay, so this is the robot generation. Lifthrasier is perhaps the most mysterious of the First Companions. Wanderer and mystic by nature, he would venture far from New Jerusalem on his own, recording his thoughts as he explored harsh and distant lands. These recordings garnered him a group of devoted followers to whom he tried to impart his wisdom. 5358. That's the author name that we saw on 2 of these previous files as well. In the troubled time following the founder's disappearance, Lifthrasier and his disciples set out on a journey to reach the opposite end of the world by foot. They have not been heard from since.
There is a pleasure in arriving on this island. The pleasure of being the first to step foot here in hundreds of years. It is a genuine pleasure, and yet it is also banal. My presence here is of no more significance than that of every other animal. These rocks do not care who walks here, and the millennia between the presence of our ancestors and my brief journey are nothing to them. But even putting it this way is wrong. It is not that the rocks do not care, it is that in some sense they do not exist. I may stand in awe of the cliffs on the southern coast, but the cliffs cannot look back at me with contempt. They cannot do anything at all.
Okay, looks like there's a statue.
Interesting monument. Decorative for another puzzle.
It does have a receiver, a green receiver. So presumably...
I think we're done here for now. Let's head over to the next site.
we can activate it. From one of these puzzles inside. Which one had the floating green laser? Was it this one, maybe? Maybe number 8. Right here. Is it this one? It does have a fan. And the statue should be visible from the fan as well. Okay, but we need to connect the this to the statue as well. Okay, so another fire with Prometheus, maybe? No, it's different.
When the first man picked up the first stone, he did not do so to forge a tool. He did so to smite his brother.
It's like a star.
I think that was more like a recording. The entity didn't appear, and the system didn't react either.
Stars. Another reflection of the simulation.
Yeah, stars. So maybe something to do with that structure that we had in the overworld near the megastructure, where it said something about astrology. But we do have this here. I've discovered what seems like another mystery to solve. Stars, clearly inspired by the simulation, which are gained by solving puzzles related to these monuments to Pandora, Prometheus, and the Sphinx. Perhaps these stars are somehow related to what you could dub the astronomical temple. Yeah. Okay. So 1K found a recording of Lifthrasir, and what an odd recording too. I know he's one of the first companions, but I don't actually know that much else about him. Don't think I've ever seen him around either. Can someone explain? Lifthrasir always had an unusual perspective, even in the very beginning. He traveled a lot, sometimes leaving for years. He built a kind of mobile recharging station so he didn't need to come back to the city as often, although it was quite risky as the solar panels had a tendency to break rather quickly. But he had no problem taking risks if he felt they were necessary, and exploration was necessary to him. Lifthrasir would record his thoughts as he explored and then publish them when he returned. Over the centuries, he accumulated a group of admirers, or disciples if you prefer. In the period of crisis surrounding Athena's disappearance, they left the city, headed into the unknown, and we haven't heard from them since. Is the recording I found one of those he published back in the day? No, not as far as I can tell. Perhaps it's something he decided to shelve, or something he only shared with close friends, like Athena. Thank you, that was informative. Well, if he shared these things only with Athena, and these things are stored on these recording terminals, then it's either Athena who built them, or someone close to Lifthrasir who is building trials for us. Yeah, there's another question mark in here. So what will that be? Maybe another statue? Okay, not a statue. Looks like a triangle puzzle.
It's strange that some of these puzzles seem disconnected from the rest. Like it's all unfinished.
Or still evolving.
Okay. Well, we need a blue and a green. We do not have anything here. We have the red laser. We have a blue in here. This will not solve anything. So we have these two. And this can create a green. Okay. Now we no longer need the green. We do need it, but need it here. This doesn't need it. This can power up this door. This could technically, yeah. Can stand here. If I want, I can get the other two connectors to pass the blue to the other side through these two doors. Right there. Okay, not that difficult. What does this do? We already have all of the things in the gate activated. So what is this for? I think I lost it. Looks like it went behind here. What's this? A mine? A hologram or something? Okay, but looks like it didn't go here. Okay, so the triangle puzzles open the green gates. Got it. And also, if I look at the map, yeah, looks like we have two puzzles. A golden gate and a lost lab. And another star. What's this then? Another lost puzzle. Okay. Yeah. Elevation. But I think we had something in our... Yeah. Some puzzles seem disconnected from the rest. So some of the puzzles seem to be disconnected from the rest. They're still functional and can be used to power the bridge device, which means it should be possible to reach the tower without solving every main puzzle. But they don't seem to be properly integrated. Could they be remnants from a previous iteration of the design? Could be extra puzzles, maybe puzzles that were discontinued because they were maybe easier or maybe too difficult. Okay. So we do have a blue. Open up this gate. This will give us a box, and we need a blue. Okay, we need to pass a blue, but we do have a red inside, which means we have to correct the blue and the green. No, we just need red and green. These two to create this one. Okay, maybe I know. I think I need to do that. But then do this. And here. Then pass the red. Don't need that anymore. Need this. Just this red. But it doesn't see it. Okay, never mind. We could do this. Set it up this way. Then take out this. Now that there's nothing interrupting it, we can take out the box. Yeah. Okay. Wait for more. Quite a good way to solve the puzzle.
Odd. 1K solved all the puzzles in this area, but nothing happened. There was a brief blip in the system, though. Maybe it'll do something later. There has to be some sort of point.
Yeah. Be the golden gate. Nothing in here though. So let's see. Okay, so that will be the second question mark. Looks like there's a hologram.
Whether it is true that Daedalus constructed the giant Talos, or as others say he was the creation of Hephaestus, what we may be certain of is that he was made of bronze and had but one vein, within which flowed a liquid substance like blood, which some claim was quicksilver, and others assert was ichor, such as flows in the veins of the gods. The loss of that liquid caused him to die, as a man dies when he loses his blood. May we not then say that Talos, though created as a machine or a toy, had all the essential properties of a man? He moved of his own volition, he spoke and could be spoken to, had wishes and desires. Indeed, in the tale of the Argonauts, that was the cause of his downfall. If then a machine may have all the properties of a man, and act as a man while driven only by the ingenious plan of its construction and the interaction of its materials according to the principles of nature, then does it not follow that man may also be seen as a machine? This contradicts all the schools of metaphysics. Yet even the most faithful philosopher cannot live without his blood.
That's the problem with the Talos Principle. Okay, maybe this is the lost lab. Similar to the thing that we saw in the overworld or in the main area. The laboratory.
This is very similar to the structure where you found the schematics.
Yeah.
Check out the terminals. Maybe there's something that'll help us understand who built this place. They have to have left something behind.
Oh, creating portals or holes. Could be interesting. Kiloyear event from BT Odiambo. The 4.2 kiloyear eridification event from BT Odiambo's Anthropocene dilemmas. The Akkadian Empire, forged in violence by Sargon the Great and his sons, reigned supreme over the city-states of Old Sumer. Enriched by trade with distant lands, fed by the plentiful wheat fields of Mesopotamia, the entire bestrode the world with confidence and pride. Who could oppose the chosen of Anu and Enlil, the masters of the four corners of the world? Then the weather changed. The crops stopped growing, trade collapsed, the empire fell, its capital forgotten. The most likely culprit at the time of writing is the 4.2 kiloyear eridification event, the beginning of the Magellaean Age, a non-anthropogenic drought that may have lasted almost 2 centuries, causing many of the earliest civilizations around the planet to collapse. This is where our ordinary understanding of time, measured on the small scales of human history, collides with the reality of deep time and our existence within a much bigger picture. We lived on a changing planet in a changing universe. Climatic optimums are temporary. Extinction is the norm. The Akkadians, like the more egalitarian inhabitants of the Indus Valley civilization, could not understand why the rivers dried out and the rains stopped coming. Even if they could, they lacked the tools to do something about it. A few short millennia later, we are on the brink of having that understanding and those tools. What can we learn from the tragedies of the past? When such drought, completely naturogenic, would be enough to wipe out New Jerusalem for good. So, talking about the collapse of the Sumerian Empire. First companions. When the founder awoke, leaving the garden behind forever, there were 2 more whose bodies had been anointed by the progenitor. The gold disc breathed life into them, and their names were Eustathius and Cornelius. The founder showed them all she had discovered. Together they explored the dead city and saw the ruin to which humankind had fallen. It was then that the founder understood that the sins of the past must not be repeated, and that only through humility could the future be saved. Aside from Cornelius and Eustathius, there were 10 whose bodies the progenitor had not anointed in due time. Now it was upon the founder to complete this work and begin the resurrection. In this matter, Cornelius proved of great assistance. After many tribulations, the 10 were brought to life, and these 12 that were born after the founder are called the first companions. These are their names: Eustathius, Cornelius, Aurora, Sun, Cerebai, Byron, Melampus, Yemo, Hypatia, Niam, Benaroya, and Lifthrasir. It's funny how you can take something that's 90% true and 10% false and create something that's 100% misleading. Failed to load comment. Noema Project 2. So trials 7 to 21. Basecamp established. Version 2 successfully deployed. Tested core functionality, so far so good. Trials 22 to 107, version 3 successfully deployed. Simple synthesis. Better cooling systems necessary. Trial 108, version 4 failed, unknown error in calculations. So they were testing something out here. Some versions of something. There was not enough energy, or the grid went down. Cooling systems are necessary, so some kind of machine. Nothing here. The server room. Nothing in here. Okay, so that's it from this building. Yeah, nothing here. Okay, so let's find this last one. This star. This looks like Prometheus.
There's another one of those monuments.
Find my sprite and follow it until it leads you back to me. So perhaps the sprite is in this direction then? There's something there. Okay, it looks like we'll be tracking it. And that's another star.
Not all things must be balanced. When good is weighed against evil, tip the scale.
Alright then. And I think that is all there is to do, apart from the golden puzzle that we do not have access to just yet. So I think there's nothing else for us to do here, and we can return to the megastructure, or travel to the second area. Yeah, this looks like the medal. Well, it's a bit of a maze out here, but yeah, this is where we went. This is the third puzzle. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So, goodbye. For now, this area will return once we have enough stars or enough solved puzzles to open up your golden gates. And I think it's time for us to go to the second area. Yeah, the wooded plateau. So this was an artificial ring-like structure on the wide lowlands east of our base camp. This is a heavily forested plateau in the mountainous eastern part of the island. Supports a large deer population. 8 puzzles, 2 lost puzzles, 1 gold puzzle, 1 lost lab, and 2 star.
Alright, everybody. I'm sure you're all excited to check out the next site. But while you're there, remember that I'm still trying to fix the rest of the transport system. Maybe there's another one of those labs that 1K found. If there is, look for more documentation, please.
We had a bit of an issue with the loading textures, but looks like it's all good. Yeah, this looks nice. It's also quite magnanimous. Whoever builds these structures is quite the megalomaniac, maybe. Yeah, looks quite nice. Very cool. Not as much water as before. But yeah, I think this will be this is a good place for us to cut this episode off, because this is a new area. It will take us quite a long time to complete all of the different puzzles. So thank you very much for watching episode 4. If you liked the video, consider dropping a like. And if you want to tell me something, anything at all, you can also drop a comment. And if you want to catch the next episode, you can even consider subscribing as well. So yeah, I'll see you guys in episode 5. Bye for now.